A proposed bylaw that would impact land use at the local airport brought a group of hangar owners to City Hall to speak in opposition. For more on the situation, here's Jace Mackey.
Half a dozen hangar owners and airport users spoke out against a new land use bylaw at a public hearing at City Hall this week. The bylaw seeks to restrict how hangars can be used at the airport. The proposed bylaw says 75% of hangar space must be dedicated to aviation and personal storage would not be allowed. Hangar owners would like to see more mixed-use options, such as being able to store cars or RVs in their hangar, and they showed examples of airports across the province with more relaxed rules. There was nobody at City Hall to speak in favor of the bylaw.
When people speak out, it certainly raises the question that they had some comments they wanted to share with council and administration, and I appreciate that very much.
One person who spoke at the hearing said he's lost out on contracts since he couldn't provide accommodations at the airport for cadets. Mayor Albers says the presenters brought up some valid points.
I think there's going to be a lot of discussion and working with the city administration, working with the hangar owners, ensuring that their voice is heard. I think they brought up some very good points.
Another concern that was raised by those who spoke was how the city would define 75% of the hangar. The hangar owners also wanted better communication from the city, and Mayor Albers said he was open to creating an advisory committee so those who use the airport regularly can provide their insight.
We heard various uses. Understand underneath the wing of an airplane is lost space, if it's a concrete floor and things like that. So I think there's some good discussion. Without going too much into the weeds on it, I think that there's certainly some questions going to be asked of administration. Administration made some notes today. Certainly we'll be doing some research and bringing back some comments to council for our consideration.
City administration will bring the bylaw back before council in the new year and will see if any changes are made to the original text. For Primetime Local News, I'm Jace Mackey.
Changing gears a little bit, if you're out of present ideas or simply looking to up your gift-giving game, our Jasmine King visited a local wine store that might have what you're looking for.
Lloyd Wine Outfitters is located in downtown Lloydminster and has been open for 11 years. And this time of year is one of their busiest. And they have a few suggestions for those not sure what to buy someone for Christmas.
I always recommend something like a Pinot Grigio for a white and a Cab Sauv Merlot, which is one of my all-time favorites for a red. They're right in that middle layer so that they're easy drinking for anybody that's just getting into wine or for that connoisseur who really loves a full-bodied wine. So those would be my two recommendations for sure.
At Lloyd Wine Outfitters, they make the wine that they sell. They can make wine for businesses to give out to staff with custom labels or for personal gifts. They also have take-home winemaking sets.
Here at our store, you have the option. You can either purchase the kit, take it home and make it yourself, or we can vent it for you. In that case, we basically speaking when you first come in, all you have to do is decide which wine type you want us to make. Then we'll mix it up for you, and then 5 to 8 weeks from that day, you come back and use our equipment and facility to bottle it off and take home and enjoy.
The holiday season is their busiest time of year. Customers can purchase or make their own wine, but they can also buy gift certificates to allow for more creativity.
That way it gives you the freedom to give the gift of wine, but them to have the opportunity to decide which one they want. And then when they come in with their gift certificate, we're happy to talk them through the process and give them some suggestions once we know what wines they more gravitate to, rather than the ones that we would just recommend.
Lloyd Wine Outfitters and other downtown businesses are currently doing a campaign to encourage people to shop downtown with a chance to win some cash.
Over this Christmas season, all of the businesses downtown are doing what's called the Lloydminster Holiday Stamp Around, where you get a little card, and for every time you spend $10 in the downtown core, you actually get a stamp, and then you're entered in to win 3 $500 prizes and a $150 prize at the end of the Christmas season.
Visit the Lloyd Wine Outfitters Facebook page for more information on their products.
The Old Farmer's Almanac is referring to this winter as the season of shivers. Stacey Comer found out how cold it's expected to get in the Lloydminster area.
Our friend Jack Burnett is with us today from the Old Farmer's Almanac, and we're here to talk today about the winter forecast, winter arriving next week. Jack, you guys have it dubbed as the season of shivers for the U.S. Is that going to be the same for Canada, and in particularly our area here in Lloydminster?
Yeah, it's what we call the cold, hard truth, Stacey. So far, so good or so bad, as you see. But yeah, we're looking for a really cold winter. around this time of year, that is to say, overall it's not going to be that bad, but the real cold spells we see starting like right now, actually, if you look in your 2022 yellow book with a hole in the corner, and actually going through the end of January with a little time out in the second week of January. But we see the real heavy siege of cold, beginning like right now and more or less going that far with a little break. The snow, on the other hand, I mean, it's going to be spread out. There's no question about it. I mean, Lloydminster and your area, that's what it is. But we really see the heavy duty snow coming in two more doses. The first one in the middle, probably 10, 12 days of January. We're looking, so you can see if it's really cold, really, really snowy, looking probably at a lighter type of snow, as far as weight goes. But that's when we see some heavy snow. And then the other heavy snow, we see the period probably 7 or 8 days at the very beginning of March. So whereas the cold is kind of concentrated from right now till the end of January, the snow will have been, spread out a little bit more.
Now, obviously, a lot of people have to do some traveling over the Christmas season, towards Christmas Eve, 24th, 25th. Can we expect basically just cold temperatures for Christmas? I mean, obviously, for most areas, it's definitely going to be a white Christmas, but is it going to be super, super cold for those traveling around Christmas?
I think it's going to be cold. It's not going to, it's not going to be, super, super, super cold. The chances of, heavy duty storms disrupting travel, at least, up where you are, I don't really see that happening. So it should be good traveling weather. People have to stay bundled up and be ready for anything in this day and age, be ready for anything. But I don't, to be honest with you, I don't really see much of a problem.
Now, how does this compare to last year, Jack, with the temperatures? I know some people are really good at remembering these sorts of things, down to the week. They keep records and such. But is this kind of the same weather we had last year, or were we a bit more warmer last year?
Well, it's hard to tell. What we do, Stacy, is we keep track of the whole meteorological winter, November through March, which is 5 months. And so we're barely into that. So it's hard to, I don't really have anything to compare it with. Preliminarily, looking at October, November, pretty much the same. Nothing really spectacularly out of whack. Last winter was kind of a crazy winter. We expect this winter to kind of be, I almost hate to say this, more predictable. Like there's the cold, there's the snow, So I think that hopefully that'll work out that way, and it'll be less kind of off the wall and more like in the realm of normalness.
Now, it seems that either 1 or 2 weeks in January or in February, we get that where it gets really deep cold, wind chills -40 and below. Do you think that's something that we can expect again?
Well, we can always expect it. I mean, as I say, we expect a really super heavy duty cold to pretty much be over with by the end of January. But that's not to say, I mean, as well as I, all of your listeners and viewers know, we're going to get, spells of a day or 2 or 3, in February, even in March, where it's going to be crazy out there. But in terms of a real, sentence, we're sentencing you to such and so many days of cold and so on. That's going to be pretty much over with by the end of January, we hope.
Well, Jack, do you have any good news for us? I guess precipitation, farmers always looking for precipitation. So can we talk about that? I mean, a lot of people, maybe not snow fans, but realize that especially those in the farming world need the precipitation for the upcoming growing season.
Right. No, I think it'll be really good. Now, you note that there'll be a lot of precipitation in the ground. I mean, precipitation itself over the course of the winter, we expect to be slightly greater than normal. We just expect less of it to be in the form of snow. And when the snow does come, as I've said, middle of January, beginning of March. So there'll be moisture in the ground. I'm looking at my chart for spring now, and it looks like spring is going to be, nothing really spectacular. April, slightly warmer than normal, but not to the extent that it's going to be like super muddy or like difficult to deal with. So I think what we're looking at as far as the tail end of winter goes and the in the beginning, and spring itself, I think for farmers and ranchers, I think it's going to be just fine from what we see right now.
Well, Jack, if people are looking to dig into this a little bit, they want to get right to the fine tooth comb with it and go through the weeks and the days and such. What's the best way to find the information from the almanac if you don't purchase it or if you want to purchase it? Where can you get that? And also, I know you guys always put some little extras online. Where can they find that information?
Sure. Well, we always encourage everybody to buy the OFA, Old Farmer's Almanac, Canadian edition locally, if at all possible. We try to support local. If not, right now, the best way to do it is to go to Amazon. You can get quick delivery that way. But in general, if you can't find it locally, we discourage people from shopping out at our store because it takes longer than Amazon. We want you to have the OFA. We don't want to deny it to you. So lots of people in Alberta and Saskatchewan have used Amazon. It works great. That's one thing to do. Another thing to do is go to almanac.ca, where there are hundreds and hundreds of free pages about, just about every, gardening, food, history, astronomy, weather, humor, everything you can imagine. So those are the two things. Try Amazon for the product if you can't get it locally, and also go to almanac.ca. You can also, I'll tell you, Stacy, we have many subscribers in Alberta and Saskatchewan to our free newsletters. We have free weekly or daily newsletters you can get that have almanac-y type stuff in them. If you don't like them, just unsubscribe. So you can do that at almanac.ca too.
Well, Jack, it's always a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much for joining us. And let's chat again when we're talking, heading into the spring and summer and more warm temperatures on the way the next time.
Yeah, let's do that. And just let me say, we know from our sales and our emails and our snail mail letters and everything else that we have many friends in our family in your area. And I just like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, where you are from the Old Farmer's Almanac. We really appreciate everybody.
Well, thank you so much for speaking with us today, Jack.
Thank you.
Now it's time to check in with Jasmine King for your first look at weather.
Thanks, Tate. I am filling in for Shelby as she is at the Lloydminster District SPCA's jail and bail, so you can definitely go bail her out of jail if you donate to the SPCA, and so I'm bailing her out right now by doing weather. So right now it's -23 in the border city, but we didn't have too strong of a wind, but we can see with that wind chill we are at -30. So again, today was pretty cold like we have been seeing throughout the other days of the week, but as we look right now around the region, we can see that is pretty consistent throughout most of the region as well as in the provinces. So -23 in Vermilion as well as Marwayne and Bonnyville, -22 in Provost and Macklin and Wainwright, and St. Paul and Lac La Biche are at -24. And over on the Saskatchewan side, again, we see those temperatures continuing on. -22 in St. Walburg, Maidstone is at -23, and North Battleford is at -26. So again, expect those cold temperatures as we head into overnight tonight, but including overnight, we can see North Battleford. We'll see a little bit of snow overnight at -24. So we just be prepared for that in the morning and overnight tonight. Make sure you got your thick blanket on, and then tomorrow we are warming up, but warming up to -20, so not that warm. And as we look at Cold Lake, -24 will be what they'll be getting to overnight tonight, again with that bit of snow, and then that's going to -24 is going to continue on till tomorrow, so another cold day. But as we look at the 3-day forecast for the border city, we can see tomorrow's high is -23, but look at that wind chill, -38. So be sure you are bundling up tomorrow because it is going to be cold. And then Saturday, high of -17. Sunday has a high of -13 with that a little bit of snow, but it's definitely going to be cold. But that is a look at your 3-day forecast, and we'll have more news after the break.
Welcome back. Help is on the way for Western Canadian farmers through the Hay West initiative. Hay is currently being transported, but as Jillian Code reports, new funding will speed up the process.
I mean, to this point, we've shipped about 7.5 million pounds feed out to some 17,000 animals. We are looking at a total of roughly about 100 million pounds that's available that people in Eastern Canada have committed for the program.
Wednesday afternoon, $3 million in federal funding was announced for the Hay West initiative, bringing total federal funding to $4 million. Keith Curry is the first vice president with the Canadian Federation of Agriculture and says the funding will be put towards transporting feed.
As fast as the money comes in, we'll be spending it on transport trucks and rail cars to get that feed moving.
With around 100 million pounds of hay ready to send out, Curry says that the Hay West program is hoping to do more than provide the bare necessities.
What we're prioritizing is making sure that where this hay goes, that the farmers and ranchers get enough hay to get them through till next spring, or actually till next early summer when the pastures may become available. This isn't just a little bit of hay for the time being. This is making sure that they have feed for the winter season.
Applications to both receive or donate hay are still available at haywest2021.net. Curie says that conversations with Minister Bibeau about additional Hay West funding may take place if need be. For Primetime Local News, I'm Jillian Code.
Now, let's check out some agriculture prices. Last night, the Lloydminster Bobcats played their final home game ahead of the Christmas break. And for a look at the results and more, here's Evan Kenny.
It was a night filled with goals, hits, and fights.
It's Hauer. They're throwing. Hauer coming over the top. Schendel tries for a couple of uppercuts, and now they're going, sawing back and forth. Schendel up underneath, misses with a massive uppercut. He's going to come over the top now, and a few more from below. And oh boy, that's worth the price of admission.
The Lloydminster Bobcats played their final home game before the Christmas break Wednesday night. It was a 6-2 victory over the Sherwood Park Crusaders.
Yeah, definitely going into Christmas break, that's really our focus, is just play strong until then and then take a little bit of time to reset, refocus, and come back after the break even stronger.
Tanner Finkarik got the night started and would add his second in the second period. Zafir Rauji would also pot one against his former team.
Yeah, definitely good against the former team. I think every time we play those guys, the guys know me and Finney want to get them back a little bit and get a win, so it's been good, and we've been on a good roll here, so just looking to keep it going into the Christmas break.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a good way to close it out at home before Christmas break, and I mean, like I said, you can never complain with a 6-2 win.
In total, 60 penalty minutes were dished out in the chippy matchup.
It's almost like we're playing playoffs here in December, and that's the way the North Division is. That it's that vibe every night that you got to go in, be ready to compete, and they're hard-fought games. I thought Shen stepped up big with the fight there, and stood up for what was needed.
Yeah, Shenny fighting was huge there. He's been really good for us, really consistent the whole year. He always plays a physical game. We've kind of been on him to get one in there, so it was nice to see him throw, and he did a really good job and really sparked the boys tonight.
On the season, the Bobcats are 10-6 at home and have won 4 of their past 5 home games.
Yeah, well, the support here has been awesome, and to see the crowd even, it's minus 30 outside, and it's a Wednesday night, and to see the people come out like we did, it's just awesome. The boys support it, and we wish everybody that was here a very Merry Christmas.
Evan Kenny, Primetime Local Sports.
Now, before we go to break, let's check in with Jasmine King once again for another look at weather.
Thank you, Tate. Taking another look at temperatures around the region, we are still cold. Obviously, it's been cold all day and all week, and that's continuing on. Lloydminster is still sitting at minus 23, and as we look over at the Alberta side, we can see there is a lot of minus 21s, and then Jasper is actually the warmest. So in the mountains, they're only at minus 16, but here in the Midwest, we can see we are in the minus 20 degrees, and over here on Saskatchewan side, minus 25 in Saskatoon, minus 22 in Melfort. Prince Albert is at minus 21 and Meadow Lake is at minus 24. And as we look into the northern regions of the provinces, we can see those temperatures continue on once again into the north. La Ronge is at minus 21, as well as Wollaston Lake. La Loche and Buffalo Narrows are at minus 22, as well as Stony Rapids. And then we can see here on the Alberta side, Slave Lake is also sitting at minus 22, where Fort McMurray and Fort Chipewyan are both at minus 24. And then High Level is one of the coldest spots in the region at minus 27. And looking into the south, we can see they are warmer down there, but they aren't warmer by much. Coronation's at minus 20, Calgary is at minus 10, Banff is at minus 19, Banff is at minus 10. And then over here on the Saskatchewan side, minus 20 in both Moose Jaw and Regina. Estevan is at minus 19, and then Yorkton is at minus 22. But looking into your national forecast, as we head more closer to the east, we can see it is warmer, where Toronto is sitting at 14. So I think a lot of us wish we were around those temperatures here in the border city. St. John's is at minus 10, Quebec City is sitting at 0, and Halifax is at 4. Over on the western side of the country, minus 27 in Yellowknife and minus 24 in Whitehorse. So honestly, the territories aren't much colder than we are here in the border city. And then Vancouver is sitting nice at 6 degrees. And as we look overnight across the region, we can see once again it will be very cold tonight, and that you can see that snow throughout. So just be prepared to plug in your vehicles, because you want to have a way that you can get to work tomorrow. So make sure you plug those in, but just be aware of those snow, as well as just the risk of frostbite, especially with these temperatures right now. So make sure that you are wearing the proper clothes when you head outside. But as we look into your 7-day forecast, we can see after tomorrow we are starting to get warmer here in Lloydminster. Minus 23 is the high tomorrow, and then Saturday is sitting at minus 17. And then after Saturday we get warm for one day on Sunday, if warm is minus 13, with around that 70% chance of some snow. Monday minus 19, and then Tuesday and Thursday are both sitting at minus 18, where Wednesday is at minus 4. So we are below our averages for the moment. We are definitely a lot colder than our average lows, but that is a look at your 7-day forecast, and we'll have news after the break.
Joining me today is Colleen Graham from Grahamtown to give me some details on some of the upcoming winter programs that they are offering. So before we get into it, first, could you tell me a little bit about Grahamtown?
So I started building Grahamtown 25 years ago, and it started out just because I wanted to take all the neighbors' kids for horseback rides, and I was taking my girls. I had 3 girls. I would take them down to the neighbors, and all of the kids wanted to ride back, and so we just thought maybe what we would do is start having some birthday parties. So I put a picnic table out in the middle of a field where there was some trees, and we started having birthday parties, and just through word of mouth, it started to mushroom. And really, every year I got excited about what I could do to build Grahamtown, because people were coming out and wanting to know what I'd done different each year. And it just got to be like just a fun project. And it was really good for my kids to learn people skills and working with the public. And we really just enjoyed our horses.
Great. And then so coming up in the next few weeks, you're offering some sleigh rides at Grahamtown. So what can you tell me about that?
For sure. So that's where I'm going out today, to do some more plowing and get my town all prepared for sleigh rides. I've got 2 different teams that are coming, and they're traveling about an hour to get there and give us some really fun sleigh rides. Might be a wagon ride depending on how much snow we've got. But what I've learned over the years is that just building these memories and doing things with their family are what make the season so memorable. So that's what we want to offer to the people. The weather is not really cooperating with us. So of course it's weather dependent. If it's more than minus 15, then if we can go 15, 16, 17 with no wind, that's okay. But what basically we'll be doing is being picked up at the road, being brought in with a horse-drawn wagon, and I'm thinking they're bringing some Christmas bells, coming into a really nice scenic trip and dropping you off at Grahamtown, where I'll have a big fire outside. People can bring their hot dogs and have a wiener roast if they like. They can come into the store. I have a little general store, jail and saloon. They can come in there and grab a hot chocolate, take out, a marshmallow and make some s'mores at the fire, enjoy themselves and get a ride back. So they're on the wagon about an hour in total, and they're there about an hour and a half.
And so this is something that you've done in previous years. What was some of the feedback that you received from the people that came out?
Yeah, everybody really loves it. We didn't go last year, but we did go the year before. And people just love to come out and spend some time with their family and give them that experience. And just the experience of stopping at an older Western town the way things used to be has been really, really fun. I've had nothing but good feedback on that.
And so how would people go about to book their sleigh rides?
Right. So if they would like to just call me, my phone number is 780-808-3786. Or if they're on Facebook, they can look up Grahamtown, leave me a message, private message me. If they go on to grahamtown.ca, that'll be a little harder for me to connect with them, but they can send me a text or they can give me a call. Also, so this is going to happen between this weekend, Saturday the 18th, going right through to January the 2nd. We're going to be having the sleigh rides, weather permitting. And what I also do this winter is I've become an equine assisted learning coach or a facilitator. So people that are wanting to, just discover what gives their life meaning in different areas. I have programs for youth. I have some youth right now that are coming, and it's at an indoor arena, excuse me, about just a short distance out of Lloydminster. And I have programs there for families that want to, get together and have a closer family. The horses are our teachers, so we're not actually riding them. But when you're riding a horse, you're controlling him. And when you're just leading him through the stations that I've set up, the horse is reflecting back to you immediately how you are showing up. So it's really cool because horses don't judge us. They're just this beautiful big animal that want to, they're like a Walmart greeter. How can I help you? So it's kind of a fun, I've got different programs with equine assisted learning that people can sign up for.
And then so with the winter sleigh rides, what is the sort of cost that people can expect to pay?
Right. So it costs $30 a person. And children that are on your lap under 2 years old, there's no cost. And so you can expect to come for about an hour sleigh ride, stop and have a hot chocolate or a coffee.
Great. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me.
An upcoming donation drive is aiming to raise funds for residents in recovery, and joining me to talk about it is Brad Gallimore from Lloydminster and Vermilion for Equity. So, Brad, thanks for being here, but what can you tell our viewers about this upcoming fundraiser?
Yeah, no problem. So we wanted to raise as much funds as well as clothing items for unhoused and less fortunate individuals in the Lloydminster area. So huge shout out to Tyler Lorenz. He's letting us take over his space for a little bit, and his amazing staff get to deal with us. And obviously anybody who wants to bring any funds or anything to donate directly to residents in recovery are also encouraged to do so. And we're going to have some baked goods and some coffee. So if you drop off any clothing donations, we're really looking for really heavy winter jackets for men and women, mitts and toques and the like, socks. Please bring your brand new underwear, not used underwear. Sorry, we just gross. And yeah, and we're really also looking for tents and sleeping bags. And again, any monetary donations can go directly to us at Lloydminster Vermilion for Equity at gmail.com, or as well just bring in anything you want to give to Residents in Recovery, who is also an amazing group, and they do wonderful things for this community.
And I know that into the new year, you're planning to team up with some local businesses to continue your fundraising efforts. But for right now, this coming weekend, it's just going to be your live street team set up at the Residents in Recovery offices?
So this time around, we didn't really get any businesses as on board. A lot of businesses are doing amazing things with like Santa's Anonymous, stuff like that. It's a little more difficult to get people on board this time of year because they're already doing great things. That being said, when we do this again in February, we will be teaming up with businesses in Lloydminster. And then in Vermilion, if you bring any donations to Simple Pleasures Boutique, they will actually enter you into a draw. Terry has done up a wonderful gift basket there, so that way you don't have to drive out to Lloydminster on Sunday, and bring those anytime this week or this weekend, and we'll be doing the draw probably Sunday or Monday. And they have she's got some wonderful stuff in there. I don't know what they are because I use like a 3-in-1 body wash, but she knows what she's talking about.
And adding on top of everything for this event, I've heard that you're supposed to be involved in a cinnamon bun bake-off on Sunday as well.
So again, with we're going to be giving out baked goods to anyone who stopped by, and Tigra has challenged me to a cinnamon bun bake-off. Tigra Lee Campbell is the co-founder of Lloydminster and Vermilion for Equity, and since neither of us have made cinnamon buns from scratch before, feel free to come and stop by and tell us which one is slightly more edible than the other.
And just as we wrap things up here, for anyone who might not be able to attend the donation drive, where's a good spot for them to go online if they wanted to make a donation?
Absolutely. So you can find us at Lloydminster and Vermilion for Equity on Facebook. We're also lvefoundation.com. We are a registered not-for-profit. And Lloydminster Vermilion for Equity at gmail.com. You can send e-transfers to. And also, we're out every Sunday at City Hall. Obviously, this week we're at Residents in Recovery, but every weekend, every Sunday at City Hall at 1 p.m., you can drop off anything. You can come by, say hi. Even if you just brought like some food items that you wanted to donate, we hand all of that directly out to anybody who stops by during those hours.
And before we say goodbye here, is there anything else that you wanted to communicate to the masses?
I honestly just want to give even more shout outs to Residents in Recovery, Tyler Lorenz, and the amazing people that work there. Just do great things for this community. And we are so grateful that they're allowing us to kind of take their space, because even they obviously have a busy time of year this time too. So, and shout out to all the businesses that are doing all the other great things. You know, if you don't donate to us, there's plenty of things for you to donate to leading right up to January 1st. So if you don't like us, find somebody you do, and I guarantee you can make yourself feel good this holiday season.
Thanks so much for your time, Brad.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Tate.
That is all the time we have for right now. There is some more news coming up in the next hour, but for the time being, I'm Tate Laycraft, and thanks for watching.